Good evening. We are back. I feel like we've only just left last week's show. Yeah, we're back to our regular time, Monday night, 8 o'clock. How did you find last Wednesday, 9 o'clock? Did that work for some of you? I'll be interested to know. Did you like the later time? Yeah, curious, but so good to have so many of you here. I'm seeing your comments coming in. So that's the first thing that I will say to you all is please do like, love and share the show out. Keep the gospel going. We've got so many of our regular friends here. So let's have a quick look. Who's tuning in? So let's say a few hellos. Well, here he is. He's got to be our number one fan. Lee, good to see you there, buddy. Always. It wouldn't be right if you're not here, Lee. Valerie, great to have you here. Danielle, nice to see you. To see you nice. Paul, I don't know where it comes from, honestly. Paul, banter at the ready. Absolutely. That's what we want. We want lots of banter. And we want to promote our industry. This is what it's so about. We call it our live talk show dedicated to the everyday hairdresser, and so much of that is about discussing big topics, but it's also about really talking about things in such a positive way. So we have lots of younger hairdressers that tune into this show who are maybe starting out, so I'd love them to really get an idea of what's going on out there. So let's have a look down here. Valerie, good to see you back. Pivot Point UK, wouldn't be the same without you guys as well. So great to have you there. Sarah, a Patreon of How to Cut It. Sarah, looking forward to our call with you very soon. Mohammed, great to have you back, buddy. Where else are we? Ryan's there too. Ryan, nice to see you. Christopher at Blinn, great to have you. Nicola, another big regular of the show. Oh gosh, there's so many of you all coming in now. So we're going to keep coming down to these comments. Justin, nice to see you there. Daniel, great to see you. There's Saffron. And just a reminder that we have a 20 seconds delay. I say it every week. But, just bear with us if I'm a bit later coming back with the comments. That is because of the delay that you're also getting as well. So what have we got coming up on tonight's show? Well, let's fire that up. Okay, so coming up on the hair show tonight, what are we? Series 2, episode 7. That means we've done 17 of these now. I can't believe it. Time's flying by. Well, first up, we're going to have World Hair News. As always, what's catching Jordanna Cabella's eye? She's got some great topics for you tonight, great news stories. Then we have Brekki with Belle. Yeah, we've got to go, Sarah. Don't know why. So Brekki with Belle always gives us a good chuckle. I'm sure there's going to be some things there we're going to be talking about. First topic, losing clients. How precious are we about losing clients? What happens with those awkward moments? Get your thoughts going on that. Team building. Should we be investing in team building? What should this look like? Should we be spending for it? What ideas do we have? Yes, sad. Seasonal affected syndrome. Yes, this is something that many of us are probably going into winter worrying about. But is there ways that we can deal with this? How can we help keep the morale of our clients? These are really big subjects that we're going to have lots of big topics to talk about. So remember, everybody, this is your show, the Hairdressers Show. We want you to bring your conversations, your questions. You drive it as well. That's what this is about. And we've got some big announcements about the show going forward and how you can get even more involved in this show going forward. So, look, that's what's coming up. Are you ready to meet my two favourite ladies after my mother and my wife in the world? Well, yeah, it's Jordanna Cabella and Georgia Bell. Here they are. Welcome to the screen, ladies.
Hey, everyone.
I always, come on, lots of love hearts for Jordanna and Georgia. Look, so let's have a look at the hair. How are we doing with the hair tonight? So, how's the blonde going down, Jordanna? Is it going down well for you? Are you getting some good feedback on it?
We are. I'm not getting too much breakage at the moment, so keep checking the brush. So far, so good, guys. Bit dry.
And George, we're keeping a check on that length at the back there. So let's have a look. Give us a look. You gave us a view on where that is. This mullet. Yeah, we're liking the mullet on George. And is there something different about you tonight, George? I can't work it out.
Yeah. I've had 5 mil of filler in my face, mate. So I look like a chipmunk, but I'm loving the youthfulness.
Is that a lot? I'm really not up on this whole kind. Is that a lot of filler going in there? 5 mil.
Not if you've had a rough paper round, mate. Do you know what I mean? I think it's about the right amount that you'd expect to look fresh as a daisy.
Well, I tell you what, it's been on these screens, isn't it? You see yourself every week now. I mean, unfortunately, I haven't got hair to do, but these look at that big lines coming on there. But hey, I'll live with that. Character lines. So let's just go through a few hellos still, ladies, if you don't mind, because we've got people joining in now. We've got Rachel there. Hey, Rachel. Have we met before in this show. Good to have you here, Kay, Helen. We have Andrew Dunn, the man, Sunday service. Andrew, great to see you there. We've got Lee Shaw. Welcome along. Who else we got here? We've got Heather. We have Rosalind. We've got so many more of you. So look, I'm going to keep going down the comments, questions. We've got some good topics to talk about tonight, haven't we, Jordanna?
Yeah, we do. Really good ones.
Yeah. So, are you ready for a bit of World Hair News? It starts off our hair show. So, yeah, you ready? Okay, well, let's go to it. World Hair News with Jordanna Cabela.
Welcome back to the world of hair news. News topic number 1 is all about the new government scheme and incentive and what it means for the hair and beauty industry. So the job support scheme will be introduced from the 1st of November to protect viable jobs in businesses that are facing lower demand over the winter months. So under the scheme, which will run for 6 months, the government will contribute towards the wages of employees who are working fewer than normal hours due to the decreased demand. Salons and barbershops who deferred their VAT bills will be given the option to pay back in smaller instalments. And finally, some good news for self-employed. The grant scheme for the self-employed has been extended, and this extension will provide 2 taxable grants, each covering 3 months from November to April next year. And the job retention scheme can also be claimed for up to £1,000 per employee from January. And news topic number 2, it's the rise of supporting the local community, collaborating and embracing local businesses. Award-winning hairdresser Ken Picton wants to enhance his salon experience in a sensory form and has partnered with a local florist and garden centre to convert his salon environment into a living green space. He states that having living plants in a workspace doesn't just create a zen atmosphere, but studies have found that having greenery increases productivity, improves mental well-being and helps with humidity and oxygenated for an overall healthier, happier place. And news topic number 3, Zoe Irwin joins Nioxin as brand ambassador at a time when hair loss has become the true topic of conversation, both in salon but also in the general public. The recent change in routine, financial challenges and mental health problems means that we've inevitably has led to an increase in hair loss. Congresswoman from the US gave a speech yesterday on Alopecia Awareness Month as a sufferer herself and is now lobbying for wigs to be funded for medical purposes. And lastly, on behalf of Georgia, Dominic and I, we would love to thank Hilary Hall for the 7 years of service for the National Hairdressers Beauty Federation as she's about to step down, and we want to give her a huge thank you and congratulations for fighting the corner of the hairdressing industry and for everything that she's done for our industry. And that's all from me today, guys.
Great stories there, Jordanna. Great news stories there. Where do we start with all of that? Well, the first comments that I'm seeing, again, it's probably like 20 seconds, so I'm probably still getting the comments coming in regarding the plants. That's something we've really seen, actually. I've seen that sort of coming in more and more into salons, isn't it, George?
Yeah.
The plants and the green space. Have you got that going on in your space, George?
Well, I can't say I'm a massive advocate, but I do have 2 plants. So, yeah, I'm a little bit involved. And I would like to have more plants, but, you know, the more you look into it, and I do believe in actually what Ken's saying there, I do believe that it does change the vibe. I believe it does change the mentality. But you really do have to research it and look at, you know, what areas the light comes in at your salon in terms of what areas plants you can have, because you don't want to have a load of plants that you can't look after properly. But yeah, we've started to, and I do believe in it. Yeah,
they were a real 1980s thing. I always remember the plants. Siobhan's just saying that she's putting them there. Jordanna, have you got them as well? You sort of brought them into Cabela?
Yeah, oh gosh, they're everywhere in the salon. We've got a mixture of artificial and real plants. We actually originally used patch plants. And there's very, very good looking men that deliver those, so I would recommend. But also, I think the colour green is a really nice backdrop for a lot of blondes and a lot of like balayages. And I also think the colour green relaxes people. And it is a nice talking point because people are always like, oh, plants are lovely in here. And I guess it gets so stuffy in the salon that I think it does help kind of reduce that humidity.
Do you know what? And subliminally as well, Jordanna, I have to say, subliminally, you start thinking like fresh, vegan, all these kind of words that people want in 2020. So you want cruelty-free, you want vegan. Plants really do subliminally enhance that, even though you might not be using a vegan range or whatever.
Well, they're obviously not calming Lee because he hates plants everywhere. He hates plants everywhere, Lee does. Nicola, I've got greenery in my salon, but it's all artificial as I kill real plants. Yeah, I think that's always a problem. It is keeping on top of it. And let's just go to Hillary Hall as well, Jordanna. You picked up on that. And we must really say, I think Hillary took the NHBF onto a whole new level.
Oh, she did, yeah, definitely. And I chatted to her yesterday because I was at Salon Smart creative head event with her yesterday. So good to see people in the flesh, to be honest. But anyway, she said yesterday that what she would love to lobby for next in the hair community is almost like a VAT-free period for hair salons and beauty businesses, because I think that is going to help the most. That's going to help more than the government saying we'll top up the salaries if your staff are going part-time. That's not a solution for us, but having VAT deducted and taken away for at least 6 months, I think would make a huge difference, particularly if we're about to go into a second lockdown. And also she was kind of lobbying for like, you know, they had the Eat Out to Help Out scheme for hospitality, and that was justifiable because hospitality is such a bigger industry. But we can't forget that the hair and beauty industry does generate £28 million a year, so we can't forget that. And I think hopefully if we put enough pressure and we start lobbying ourselves, and maybe we could make that happen.
Yeah, I know Colette's watching it. Who's a regular of the show, of course, Colette Osborne. She's actually promoting a campaign, you know, to get, you know, hairdressing industry, you know, to get our VAT bill down to 5% when so many of the other sort of hospitalities have had their VAT reduced. Why isn't it happening to hairdressing, George?
I remember that's 28 million declared. So if you actually looked at the people that only take cash and don't declare, it would be, I reckon that the hair and beauty industry would probably generate so much more money.
Yeah, there's
so they would justify more for a VAT reduction, I think.
Yeah, she's just put HM Treasury has been lobbied, and we have all come together and done this. Yeah, great work. So get behind what Colette's doing. I think everybody needs to come on to that. And also, you mentioned about the hair loss there with Zoe Irwin, with Neoxin becoming an ambassador. This is something that's becoming more and more talked about, isn't it? Hair loss in certainly women. Obviously, you know, there's a genetics on male pattern baldness. You know, but for a woman, you know, having that hair loss, it's a major issue, isn't it, Jordanna?
Yeah, definitely. And you know what, I think it's a really good time to promote Zoe into that role, because I think she bridges the gap between like a sterile brand and the everyday user. And you know, Nioxin for years, or any hair loss brand for that matter, was kind of seen for like either men or older ladies, but actually people experience it in their like 20s and their 30s, or even when they're young. Like I've got an 18-year-old client who's experiencing it, and we should open up the conversation a bit more, I think, and make it a little bit more normalized, because that's also an opportunity for us salon owners to capitalize on, because we have to react to that demand, and unfortunately this is happening now in a lot of people. So we can definitely train ourselves up a little bit more to actually be a bit more expertly in this area, so that we can actually bank on it.
And George, I'm just going to say here, Colette, she's just put hair loss products and services can be charged VAT-free if a medical condition.
That's really interesting, and it's also really helpful. I mean, it's helpful to the client, and then it's helpful to us as a business. And actually, I was mentioning to the guys in the green room before this evening, wasn't I, that in my studio I do plan to do a hair loss system, because I think it's something that's, you know, on the rise. And I think actually just by changing that for somebody, you can really, really work to changing their life. And I think that that's something that's really rewarding and something that's really important.
Yeah, there's a lot of love coming in here for Neoxin, by the way, and I remember Neoxin obviously as a younger guy losing my hair, and at the time, I mean, we kind of all brush it off as a little bit, you're losing your hair, but for blokes actually it is a major thing, certainly of a younger age, having that losing hair, and and I always do remember Neoxin. It was an American product, but I believe that's now, is that part of the Weller Coty brand, isn't it, Neoxin?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, it's all bit, but there's, it seems to have a lot of, good, talks in there, and there's a lot more. But actually, we're going to talk about hair loss as a bigger subject next week. So if there's anything that you feel we should discuss on that, we've got some big news actually with the show. It's going to, going forward, I might as well just say about this now, but we're going to start to be able to bring in guests live to the show, as well as doing some live hair makeovers and lots more. We're super excited about it. So if you would really like to come into the show, you'd like to join me, Jordanna, Georgia, and you've got a conversation that you'd like to share or be interviewed, now is the time. So get in touch, email Dan, he's putting the messages away in there, in the comments, links as well. So yeah, live people coming in. So yeah, we'll do live phone-ins a lot, and actually if you want to phone into the show as well, we can do that as well. Honestly, this is a lot more. So look, some great comments coming in, keep them coming up, and again, Colette's just put in here, download forms for HMRC clients, fill in, just like that up. Yeah, lots more. So I'm going to keep coming back to them. So let's go into our first topic tonight. And this one was inspired by Slider Cuts. Mark, I don't know if you know of him. He's an incredible guy, isn't he, George?
Amazing.
Jordanna, what a speaker, what a motivator. And I think I've got him, I'm interviewing him next week, I think, for my podcast, which I'm dead excited about. But he was on Instagram this morning. He was talking about losing clients. So we're very precious about losing our clients and how this affects us. So we want to have a bit of a conversation, but let's just play you that video from Mark, just a brief soundbite to that, just to give you an idea what he was talking about. Here's that video.
And we were talking about cheating, and he said to me that, barbers are so emotional. And I thought, you know what, you're right, barbers are so emotional. He said, barbers take this thing deep about customers going to sit in another barber's chair and leaving the barber, and it's just over emotional by it. And for me, to be honest, I've never had that stance. I've always believed that a customer should only be in my chair because that customer wants to be in my chair. A customer should not be in my chair because of this so-called loyalty. Because why should you be loyal to me? You pay me for a service. I provide you a service. Your loyalty ends with that payment. All you owe me is payment for the service I have provided you.
Yeah. Hey, Jordanna, what are you up to?
So sorry, guys.
She's having a thing. So that there, actually, we were talking about this beforehand. So the first thing I'm going to ask all of you watching, and even if you're watching on replay, please you add to the comments, because we still see the comments on replay. You just put hashtag replay and then put your comments in, and that's great for us. So my first question to you all tonight is, does it kind of not offend you? Well, does it offend you when you lose? Does it really bother you when you lose a client? Yes, if it does. No, move on. Okay, so George, what are you like when it comes to losing clients? How does that affect you?
Do you know what? I'm one of these that I am really offended. I get really upset. I'm like, I can't believe you've cheated on me. I feel like, and then if someone's cheated on me and they message me and they're like, I want a haircut, and I'm like, I'm nobody's second best mate. I say it as a joke, but I'm not really joking. But since I've had a business coach, they have helped me to see it as a statistic, as rather as somebody like not coming back. And actually, it can be a really simple reason why somebody doesn't come back to you. It could be the fact that life's getting in the way, or they've got a school run, or it can just be the daily burden of life why they don't come back. But yeah, I do get quite offended. I get quite upset.
And here's the thing that I want you all to think about as you're listening to this, right? I want you to all of you visualize one client who's been a real regular of yours for like the last few years, And you know when you just suddenly think of them and you think, oh, I haven't seen so-and-so for so often. We've all got those, haven't we, Jordanna, or is it just me that thinks that?
Yeah, definitely. We all have them, and I think that's why I do a lot of callback campaigns in the salon, just to find out and nose around. And there's a couple of things you can do. You can get your receptionist to do it, or another team member, so that they don't feel awkward saying the truth. Or you can just give your clients a text if you know them on that kind of level. But I have a really, really bad habit of always telling every new client about our 2-week window of basically any amendments that you want to do to your hair. You've got a 2-week window that you can come back and do it for free. But I mean, it's the worst thing to say to a client because it kind of makes them feel like, should I be coming back? But for some reason, I just feel like it's really nice to give them the freedom to be able to say, oh, it's quite a colour change. Do you think I can tone it down a bit? Is it a bit too light? Or do you know what, you didn't cut enough off the fringe? And I want to open up that conversation rather than them just having to be like, oh, I'm too embarrassed to say anything, I'm going to go elsewhere. So I say it a lot. Not everyone does. But I think you just got to be careful the way you say it because it can be a bit self-deprecating at times.
So when you get a new client to you, some would say, George, that they feel a pressure. There's a new client coming into your salon and it's that... But you feel like you're being judged on every level. Your salon's being judged, you're being judged, the conversation that you're having. Is that something that you feel affected by?
We discussed this earlier, didn't we? And no, not necessarily. I was actually saying I'm probably more, I wouldn't say attentive because I'm always attentive and I'm always like, you know, hair's the most important thing to me. So to get your hair colour and your hair right, it really means a lot to me. But I would say that now when I have a new client, usually I'll get messages on Instagram or I'll get messages on Facebook saying I've followed you for ages, this is the colour that I want, I know you can do it. And I'm not saying I make less of an effort because that's not true, but I'm probably more confident with that new client because actually they've taken the time to research what I do and the colour changes I do. Therefore they've come with an expectation. That in itself can cause a bit of nerves to you. But they know that I can do it and I know I can do it, and I feel quite comfortable around new clients, I'll be honest, but maybe that just comes with experience.
There's a comment here from Sarah, and I think this is it. She's just put, she disappeared in lockdown. I've messaged and rang, but no answer. Now, we've all got those clients, haven't we, that were so regular up to the lockdown, then they haven't returned. And you do. I know I naturally, and I can think of probably 3 clients that I'm thinking have been great clients of mine. Where have they gone? Are they just growing their hair long? Do you start saying, because you do think about it, and somebody says it bothers us because we care. You care about your customers, and you develop that relationship. But have you experienced this, Jordanna, where you haven't had a client just return back, and what could be some of the reasons for that?
Well, it could. There's loads of reasons. One of the biggest reasons for me would be someone who wants to go really light, and I know that I can't get them there without taking them through that ginger period. And it might be that they've had too much colour on their hair or anything like that. And I just say, look, I'm sorry, I just would not advise professionally to do that. And I have lost a few clients that way. But it's really important for us to remember that we are humans. We may have an off day, and if someone doesn't connect with you, it's not a big deal. There'll always be new clients coming in. So long as we're definitely taking lessons from that and trying to capture as much feedback as possible, like maybe the emails that you can do to automatically send them out to capture feedback. And I think, we're not going to be on top form every single day, and we're not going to emotionally connect with everyone. So,
but it is a little bit like a relationship with a new partner, and I kind of describe it when you have a new client. It's almost like you're going out on a first date with somebody again. It's that whole kind of you've got to get to know that person once more. Yes, you've got to get to know their hair and you've got to understand what they want, but that big part of that relationship, you've got to start that new part of a relationship, George.
Yeah, I mean, I actually do feel like, I have actually done that where I've not seen clients for a while and I've personally gone through my email list and I've picked them out and I've actually sent them a message and I've said, hey, what is it that we couldn't do for you. Can we welcome you back in our business? And actually, we have actually seen a return from those, just by having a little bit of bollocks and saying, hey, I might not have done it properly, but how can I be better?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And we have actually seen...
how long it was going to take you to say bollocks, George.
Yeah.
I didn't have you down for saying it though, Jordanna, so quickly, but there you go. So let's just have a look at some of the comments just coming in here. So we asked, so just going back, we had Heather, it's hard not to take it personal, but I agree that our clients, not friends. We blur the lines, unfortunately. I think that's really true, isn't it? That you can start to, you feel like your customers do become your friends, but actually
they're not.
They're not. They're your business. I think it's so important. I flashed this up earlier. Just in, we do courtesy calls. Lee said, I've just lost one of 24 years. So took it so personal. That's hard. I know you say they're not friends, but they are. Clients become, they're kind of friendly strangers, if that makes sense. I'm sure if you had a big celebration, how many clients off the top of your head would actually you invite to that celebration?
Quite a few. But I think what we've got to remember with the business head, I have to say that you do naturally lose 28% of your client base. And that's not through anything personal. That's just...
We also get, we make money off people not being happy with their hair. So on the flip side, we have to see it as a positive, actually, everyone's going to have an off day, or everyone's relationship with their clients eventually going to break down, because that's what brings new clients to us. And the best thing we can do is basically quiz each new client that comes in and say, what is it that's brought you here, and what is it that you weren't happy with? And 9 times out of 10 they just say, my hairdresser didn't listen to me because it had been 10 years and we just did the same thing, or it could just be that I didn't feel like I was part of the decision process, that kind of thing.
But this is where being complacent really comes in, because in actual fact, we'll only keep 20% of those new clients walking through our door, whereas in actual fact, if we utilise what was sat in our chair and we decided to really look after them, they're 65% more likely to spend more money than what a new client ever would with you. So that's something that I think is overlooked, and that's where we become complacent, right?
Good stuff. So my wife can be demanding when they think a friend. Yeah, you get that demand, don't you? Loads of new clients through they are working from home and not commuting. This is another subject, and I'm interviewing Joe Mills about this, about London and the effects that they're feeling of not having city workers. There is a big shift of clients moving around, I feel, at the moment, Jordanna, isn't there? That maybe sort of going back into a local environment. It's like going into your bubble of your local community, whether that's in, the suburbs of London, Yorkshire, wherever that may be.
I mean, I'm going to be totally honest. I've lost 30% of my regulars. And when we have done the callback campaigns, we found that it's because they've said, I can't justify travelling into London, because a lot of them don't live in Kensington and they only worked in Kensington, but obviously their offices are closed. So, of course, they're not going to come in. And I do get it, because some of them might live with vulnerable people and what have you. So they've just found mobile hairdressers. And I'm just hoping that after a year, they might get a bit bored of having the mobile hairdresser come round, and they might want the experience back. So I'll just keep communication lines open with them, keep doing the marketing emails, and one day, hopefully, win them back.
Yeah, I know Joe Mills, he's launching this app. He's launching an app where, to fill that quiet salon space time to actually go to the clients. Is this something else, we may see more of? But some great comments coming in, and keep them going, everybody. Let's just have a long before we move into brekki with Belle. We've got Becky Sutherland. Hey, Becky. She's put, I've moved my salon through lockdown to a bigger salon. I've had loads of new clients coming in. I'm still really busy, but it really does fit me losing clients. I can't help but take it personal. It's an awful situation. You do take it personal sometimes, because we all just you'd hate, none of us like it if you hear a client go away and say, I couldn't stand how Georgia done my hair. It's that hurts, doesn't it?
I just think we bend over backwards more than any other industry. I think actually we do more. The amount of times, I've stayed till 11 o'clock to do your hair. I've moved my days around. And I don't think, you're not going to get Maureen that works on checkout at Tesco agreeing to do an extra 3 hours just so she can pack your bags for you. Do you know what I mean? I think it is a very personal service. Do you know what I mean? I think
He's just said, I've been doing it so long that I only lose a client when they die. We did say about this earlier. The girls were saying that about me as well, my clients, Paul. I'll tell you, cheek of them. Great, some great stuff there. We're going to move on. I really enjoyed that. Again, if there's more you want to add to those topics, bring them in. If there's anything you want to add in, then again, if you've got any question for the girls as well, throw them in the comments. They'll certainly look. And I just want to give a shout out as well. Dan is there. Dan, who is our producer. You don't meet Dan that often, but he's always there putting comments in. He's also going to be putting our link in for our YouTube channel, which is still very, very early days, but we would love you to go over there. If you're on YouTube, please do go and subscribe. He will put that, and we put a lot of our clips on there, and one of those we always put onto our YouTube channel is Brekki with Belle, as well as hairdressing horror stories. So that sets us up perfectly for a little bit of Brekki with Belle.
Here we go. Welcome to this week's Brekki with Belle. Remember, whatever you send me stays completely confidential and you remain absolutely anonymous. Okay, so the first question dilemma is pretty awkward. Imagine the person that you lost your virginity to, your first boyfriend, tracking down where you work and booking hair appointments and insisting that you do it every time. How awkward is that? I personally don't know the history between you guys, so I don't know what, how it ended or whatever, but I would say that that's pretty creepy, and I would definitely make my excuses and pass it on to another stylist. So, dilemma number 2, clients poaching staff. Now, normally it's the other way around, isn't it? Where you get staff poaching clients. But what do you do if you've got a long-standing client that's actually messaged a member of your team to try and find out how much they're going to do it at home and if they can go to their house instead? For me, I would just sack that client off, to be honest. I don't think it shows that client doesn't value you or your business. Or maybe if they are a long-standing client, try sitting down and talking to them and finding out if there is a bit of financial difficulty or what you can do as a business to help them out. Oh, the next one's quite juicy. So what do you do when you walk into your staff room, a member of staff has left the phone open, and basically you can see a conversation slagging you off as the boss between two of your staff members? It's a bit of a tough one. I have to say that, depending on what's been said and how bad it is, always try and take it with a bit of a pinch of salt. People like to moan, and unfortunately, they usually moan about the boss. If it is more serious, though, I would call a meeting and just try and iron out. It's amazing how a little bit of bad feeling can spoil an entire team. So, yeah. Okay, so dilemma number 4. Being left a 1-star review, despite, even in that review, the client saying that the hair was perfect, it just cost too much money. That is a really difficult situation to be in, but for me, things only cost too much money if people don't feel like they're getting value. So I would probably reach out. In fact, I'd 100% reach out to that client, and I'd find out what more you could do other than altering the price to make them feel like they receive value for money. Okay, so we all know we have a lot of clients that want to go lighter, and we explain that process every single time to the client, that actually getting lighter takes time. But what would you do if a client came in, asked for a balayage, you did a balayage, it still wasn't light enough, so then you went back through and did a full load of foils. Then the client said they were going to go to the cash machine, walked out and didn't pay, and then had the cheek to phone you up the next day to see what you were going to do to get them lighter. To me, that's a really difficult situation to be in. I wouldn't do anything until that client came in and paid that original check. But again, it really is sitting down with your client, and this is the importance of consultation, is actually explaining that achieving that dream blonde colour can actually take anything from 3 to 5 occasions.
Love it, as always, George. The client that you lost your virginity to, is this anybody that you knew?
This isn't my story, Dom. Everything remains completely anonymous, and you remain completely confidential. Can we move on?
Yeah, we'll move on quickly there.
Jesus!
Okay, well, Paul has just put here, you're never too expensive. It's just that they can't afford you. Hey, Jordanna, would you go with that?
Yeah, I would. But also Nicola has said, I had a junior send me a text slagging me off that she meant to send to her friend, and I made her squirm. That is awkward.
Oh, we've
Is
all
that
had
ever
those,
happened,
haven't
Jordanna?
we? We've all had
No.
the you never caught a text that's made. Have you ever sent that wrong message, an email, and it's gone to the wrong person? George,
Yeah.
you look like you're squirming a bit at that one.
Yeah, I've had that, and I've had it happen to me as well, and that's why I say go easy on it, because actually, do you know what? People like to just sometimes they like to complain and they can have a really bad day and they like to put the frustration out, and it could just be you in that moment that the frustration goes out. So that's why I say don't go crazy. If it's something really horrible, really serious, but if it's like a little moan, just let it go. That's what I would say.
You have. I've definitely done it before, where you've sent something and it's just like, oh no.
I've done it on my family group, my cousins group, my social group. I've luckily never done it for like the workplace and never had it happen to me. But I think George is right. You just have to let it go. Sometimes people need a bit of a moan, get it off their chest, and it doesn't actually run
It's nothing really nasty. Do you know what I mean? If it's just like, oh, she's pissing me off or whatever.
Paul Aristides, how you doing, Paul? He has done it. Justin, he's just put, thank God for the delete for everyone feature on WhatsApp. Yeah, very right. Nicola, I sent my hubby a bit of a saucy text, only it was sent to a staff member by mistake. Well, yeah, I mean, hey, they get to know you even better as a boss then, don't they? But they certainly do. One little bit you mentioned there was poaching clients that I saw in that bit there. Now, clients poaching staff. So actually a client who phones up a member of your staff and says, can you come and do my hair at home? Now, I've got to be honest, I've experienced this from staff members, and I've certainly heard of this. Is this quite a common problem, do you think, George?
I think, especially with price increases because of COVID, I think that, yeah, it is. And that's why I always strongly suggest, my lot of self-employed, so effectively it's their clients anyway. So if they, to be legal, they've got to do a second source of hair anyway, which would be home hair. But my advice would always be to make the salon experience so great that in actual fact, home hair is just not going to cut it.
What about you, Jordanna? Is there anything you can do about that in terms of it's a client who is approaching your staff member to go and do their hair at home?
I would say maybe you can't interject. However, what you can do is have a chat with the staff member to see how they dealt with it. And a lot of my team, the way they deal with it is just saying that I'm afraid that's just a breach of our contract. And for various reasons, I can't offer that to you. Whether they say that when you're not there, I don't know. But when clients ask us that on the phone, we do tell them, I'm afraid that's a breach of contract. We let them know, because the same way you can't go up to on a photo shoot, you can't ask for like the pictures directly. It's just common knowledge, and if they don't know it, then you have to just tell them.
Yeah, no, just flag this up, Emma. Hiya, Emma. It's most common now from COVID. I think it is a more common problem. It's easy for clients to get in touch with staff members now, where years ago it was a little bit more tricky. You had to just get their number, or it was a case of doing it whilst in the salon. Yeah, could come round. But let's be honest, everybody's got an Instagram account now, George, and just drop them a DM. Can you come and do it at my place?
It's easy to find people now, and that's why I say we have to be more exceptional as a service and as a business than we have ever been before, because accessibility from the clients is so much easier now. So much easier.
But is there a problem for a stylist? So, a lot of younger hairdressers who may think, look, I want to top up my money. Is there a problem with them going off and doing that from time to time, Jordanna?
Definitely. I mean, it has the client walked through the door because of the salon that you're paying the rent for, and the space that you have created, and the marketing that you have backed? Or are they coming to your staff member because they're a friend of their housemate or a friend of a boyfriend? That's very different. And we chat openly about this at work, and we say, look, if you're not the kind of person that doesn't like doing your home hair clients, because everyone has them, they might be your cousins or your friends of friends, that's fine. But if you don't want to do it at home, bring them into work and we'll give them a friends and family discount of 30%. And that encourages a culture of kind of, okay, I'll just bring them to work sort of thing, because you've got all the products there and it's less hassle. But yeah, definitely.
It always comes down to this bit again, doesn't it? It's a really difficult one from a salon owner's point of view. Absolutely, they've come through your marketing, through the reputation of your salon. But then a client becomes loyal to a stylist. This is always been a real big issue that we've had, isn't it? That actually I've come to Cabela because I love Cabela. I've come to Society by Georgia Bell because I love that salon. But then that's the difficult, and this is really how a lot of self-employed hairdressers, and probably who they work for you, George, their business has maybe come from them working at a salon, come to you with their clientele.
And that's why I have to try and ensure, I mean, it's a little bit different with mine because we all built together, so we built up together, but that's why I have to try and ensure that everyone's busy all the time. You know, people are charging 115 quid for a cut and colour, so then why on earth would you go round to Maureen's house and charge her 30 quid for a roots and a blow dry? Because by the time you took your product cost off, you've earned 20 quid and you've got a taxi there. What's the point?
But look, I'm just putting it out there. And by the way, these aren't my opinions. It's just as I think about things, and we've got to flip it around a little bit here. But as salon owners, and you've just took on a new staff member, Jordanna, and they've come with this clientele that maybe they've just took from their previous salon. Are you going to say, well, look, I don't find that acceptable?
No, but am I ever going to see those clients as mine? Maybe not, because I'll have it in the back of my head.
So they belong to that stylist then, because they come with that stylist.
If any stylist is self-employed, then the clients belong to that.
Yeah, but they're not we're not all self-employed here, George. I'm talking about stylists that arrive with clients. So they've gone to that and they've gone to the new salon, which the salon hasn't marketed for that client to come to that salon. They've just travelled with the stylist. It's a tricky one, isn't it?
I would say it's that stylist, to be honest. I would say that. I think
Jordanna?
That stylist has worked hard to build that rapport, and that stylist has grafted, and you know that's that stylist client. And do you know, I as a salon owner would probably see it as that stylist client, because I'd have it in the back of my head. If she ever leaves, that client is definitely going to go with her.
Yeah,
so,
me too.
So it's a bit like that losing clients again, isn't it? That you're gonna, if you know, I've had staff members that I think of, and that they've kind of, their clients have gone with them because they've just become attached to that stylist, and maybe we just have to sort of say, well, that's how it is, and we've just got to make sure that we bring in new clients. It's that ever evolving, isn't it, George?
But what I'm saying is, if you create a brand so strong and you create the belief within your clients that actually it doesn't matter whatever chair you sit in, that hair is going to be amazing, because your level of training and your level of customer care and the brand that you're putting out and everything you do, it makes it less about the stylist and more about the experience and the brand that you're buying into.
Okay.
Because I don't care who makes my clothes at Vivienne Westwood, it's Vivienne Westwood, so I'll buy it regardless. Do you know what I mean?
But hairdressers is a little bit more designed, because the hairdresser who's joined you as a self-employed hasn't been trained by Georgia Bell.
Good
so
point.
You know, so it's not like they've been. Yeah. But that's the thing. You've got a stylist that actually, you know, they've come from another top salon. They're bringing that top salon, their work with them to your brand, Jordanna.
I'm just going to read out a comment by Emma. They come back to salon so often, seeing it so much, they miss the whole package. Yes, every client finds their stylist, but then the stylist often takes advantage and gives them subpar service at home.
Yeah.
So that's a good point, mate.
What's Ryan got here? Only hair I do outside of my salon where I'm employed is hair extensions, and that's because the salon doesn't offer them services. That's a great point, actually. If the salon isn't offering them services and you can provide that service, then that's acceptable, isn't it?
Dom, you know, I remember those days when I used to straddle my clients over the bath rinsing the hair, and I know 100% of them would never want to go back to that. That's all I can say on the matter, you know.
It's not the same, is it? It's not the same experience, and also for a lot, I'm getting a little bit concerned for some of the freelance mobile hairdressers out there, because if they do it too prematurely, i.e. within the first 5 years of graduating, then you run the risk of not having that salon buzz and environment and learning from other people and being in a creative environment where you can be like, do you know what, I'm going to try that, and how would you deal with this colour, and, you know, collaborating. And that concerns me. Obviously there's loads of people that do it and they're amazing, but generally speaking, people really only go freelance after about 10 years. But we're starting to see people do it quite early on, which is concerning, because it can prohibit you from progressing.
But we have to remember that there are all types of different avenues in our industry, and we have lots of people of freelance, self-employed, and it's such a divided, different topic.
And there's nothing wrong with any of those.
There isn't. I think that's what is so amazing about our industry, is the diversity of it. And I think whatever it comes back to, it's just about doing things professionally, being considerate to people that are around you, who you may work for, who then you move on. I think it's just about being professional, self-employed, employed. Everything is going to suit the salon of that choice. If you are an employed salon, you're going to be more towards the employed. If you're a self-employed salon, you're going to be more towards that. And, you know, I don't think there's any right or wrong in it. I think it's just about doing things professionally. So great comments. So, you know, it's a topic in itself we're just going into, and maybe is that something else, but you know, great, keep these coming in. What have we got down? We've got a big one here from Kay. So what have we got? If hairstylists were responsible for their own brand within the salon, they would all complete with clientele. So when sorry, I'm losing the message here. So when you're employee, they don't need to build up. Everyone would win if we just left it to clients to decide, rather than imposing a restrictive convenient, as often stylists have to leave the clients behind, and then the clients don't even stay. That's one of our longest messages here, Kay, with the salon, but end up finding a new salon and stylist. Yeah, great. Yeah, it's good. Shelley, I agree with Jordanna there. Yeah, I agree. I did most of my learning in my first 10 years in salon. Oh, great stuff. Woo, there's a topic in itself. But like I say, we have salon owners here, we have hairdressers, stylists, trainees, all across the board. And, you know, whatever we discuss in here is about open conversation. There's no right or wrongs, it's just different opinions. And that's what we love most of all about this talk show. It is about us talking about topics, but it's about promoting the industry. Ultimately, we are all hairdressers. We love our industry. It's an amazing industry. And, you know, if you ever think, gosh, it's a bit negative, we're not. It is just, you know, it's a wonderful industry, and I think we'll all say that. So anyway, we're going to go into a little bit of team building. This came up from George, and it's a bit like the bad apple in the cart situation. So let's go into our next topic. Well, great. Right, so this one is a little bit about team building in salon, and a little bit of this came from a couple of weeks back. Actually, we spoke about with Casey, mental health. You know, they were effectively closed for 2 days, and you know, it raised different opinions, but it was effectively what Casey was doing was team building, really, isn't it, Jordanna? And do you do a lot of team building, and what's that look like, Jordanna?
I'm just going to go back to Casey. I think it sent a message, his initiative sent a message out to his staff that was heavily concerned about mental health. And I think that message was, you know what, I'm going to take a financial hit for 2 days in order to give you guys a little bit of a breather, and we can come back refreshed. Now, there's loads of other salon owners that will do it differently. For example, I've linked up with Hayley from the Resilient Hairdresser, who's going to do a workshop, because rather than closing for a day, I feel my team would actually benefit better if I could actually do a workshop where we talk about the different personalities we have, the dynamic, why it shifts, how to communicate, what to expect. It's just understanding each other and the way we work, because if we don't take that time to do it, what happens is throughout the year, you just get peaks and troughs of amazing community spirit. And then like awful dynamics where the staff room is like the toxic room, and morale is low. It's always going to happen. But if we can understand it better, it's not about making sure it doesn't happen, it's just understanding it better, then it's a win-win.
Yeah, I'm just going to put that question to you guys, community. Do you do team building, yes or no? And by team building, I mean close a salon, go away for a weekend. Is this something you regularly do? Or if you're a hairdresser, are you working at salons that do team building, yes or no? George?
I'm going to butt into it. I know a girl from Weller Mastercard program, and she actually goes to Ibiza every year with her team, and there's like 12 of them.
Nah.
And they come back with the best stories. They close the salon for a week to go away to Ibiza. I kid you not. Amazing.
Well, that actually, you did talk about this, George. Are you taking some of your staff members? Are you all going away?
Not as of yet, but we did say that this is definitely something that I want to do, because actually, I'll be honest, like, I've been with some of my team for 10 years, and it's been a hard road sometimes, and actually we needed a bit of a lockdown to really appreciate each other, and now our relationships within the salon are the best they have ever been, and we do lots of little things, like we do breakfast together. Obviously, we sometimes go to the pub. Like today, we've had like Botox, filler, eyebrow day. So we do lots of little things, but definitely, like, I think a couple of days a year away would really benefit us, just to remember and appreciate each other. I think you can get stuck. It's like a relationship, innit? 10 years together, you get stuck in a rut. You need a bit of downtime, a bit of a break to really appreciate and become stronger than ever.
Yeah, I think as well what sparked a little bit of this conversation, George, was you said, you get a bad apple in the cart, i.e. a team member that maybe could change the harmony of your team. So your teams come together, you've got somebody who comes along, changes the whole vibe of the team.
Yeah, I think that's possible. I think that that's happened to me before, but then I also think, as a business owner, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, I went away and I was educating, I was leaving the team on their own. And I think when you do that and you're not in the salon, you're not like supporting each other and you're not looking after each other, I think a lot of negativity can just start naturally. So in actual fact, that's why I made the decision to not go out and educate as much, that we're going to do academies in the salon and we're going to do things together and we're going to push each other, all of us as a unit, instead of it's Georgia Bell doing this and then we've got society. It's just going to be our brand together, stronger than ever.
Yeah. Do you do a lot of team building with Cabela, Jordanna, in terms of, you say about the lifestyle is quite an important part for you, and mindfulness, in terms of education, new techniques? Do you bring in outside educators to your team, and you'll have a team building day where you'll close the salon and work on a certain idea?
So what we've got, like, quite a lot of books in the salon as well, and they're quite easy books, and we just kind of pass them around, and they're all about the different characters. Some of them about horoscopes, some of them are just there's one called The Zookeeper, which I love. It's an excellent book, and it talks about the zoo manager being like the manager of the salon, and how if you have too many monkeys or too many lions who tend to be a bit dominant, it categorizes you into animals and you understand each other quite like a bit better. But then we also have a lot of socials, and I think that really helps, because once you've had a drink in you, like, you let your guard down and you talk about personal things, and it doesn't end up being just a bitch about clients. It becomes a little bit more of a relationship, which is really nice. So I think socials.
It's funny you mentioned that, Jordanna, because one of my earliest memories of meeting you was back with Hair Club Live Open Chair Night at Star of Kings, and I remember you came along you brought, I think it was the barber night, and you brought your girls and team along, and I remember seeing at the end you were all getting absolutely smashed but having a really good time. And but I thought, how cool, you could see that there was a real good connection and vibe between you all, and I think that is so incredibly important, isn't it? But it comes back to that point that you were talking about, both of you were saying, look, and lots of our people viewing in were saying, look, our clients are not our friends. Are your staff members, George, or your staff team, your friends?
I think it goes in cycles, doesn't it? And I think, Yeah, I would say
Sorry,
that
I
my
haven't
mates,
prepared
but
the girls with these questions, by the way, so they're not prepped on these. I'm just sort of putting it out there. And
I can't answer that, Dom. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. What can I say?
What
At
about
the
you,
moment, it's
Jordanna?
good, so yes, they are my mates.
What about you, Jordan? Are your staff? We can't even say staff these days. It's team members, whatever we call our work colleagues. Are they your friends?
They are my best friends, and maybe not everyone agrees with me, but I spend so much time with them, and the process of bringing someone new into the team is so important to me, and I make sure that they will fit into the team, and we gel so well that some of them have become lifelong friends. They will be my bridesmaids. Like I'm so attached to them. However, I've got such a good relationship that even if they did leave, and for whatever reason, so long as it wasn't a really nasty way of doing it, I I will have them in my life. Not all of them, because you don't gel with everyone, but at least 5 of them. They're like my best friends.
Yeah,
And
well,
not many people agree that you can do business like that, but
yeah.
I manage it. And
I think you got to do what's right for you, isn't it? If it's part of who you are. But sometimes I always think that we think our team are so close to us, but actually, I don't know if they always are really. I think you tend to think, I'm going to look after them, they're my family. And then 2 years down the line, they're gone. They couldn't give a monkeys about you, to be quite
No, but I
honest.
think it's about sitting down, and I think it's about including your team, and I think it's about getting their input. I think that's a mistake that I've made before in the past, where I've not, and I've just gone ahead and done it with my own idea. And now that I take the time to sit and be more inclusive within my team, I've definitely felt a closer connection and a friendship within them.
Right. Well, it's time. Look, let's bring in some comments here because there's so many coming in. I'm really keen to just bring in some of the comments because it's your show, the Hairdresser Show. Took my girls. This is Shelley. Took my girls to Portugal last year. What else have we got? That's a question I'm going to ask you all. If you could take your team to one place, anywhere, realistically in the world for one weekend, where would you go? That's your team
Ibiza.
building, all right? Put your answers. Where would you go, George?
Ibiza.
Ibiza. Jordanna, where would you go?
I
Team.
would take them to the motherland, Cyprus.
The motherland. I'd take them to Ireland. I reckon we'll have a right good session in Ireland. I like my friends in Ireland. It's too hot anywhere else. At least it's nice and cool there. And I love potatoes. We can see Andrew. No, I fancy a bit of Ibiza actually. Ibiza is on the cards for my 30th anniversary. Where else have we got? You guys, we do. Colette, we send people to New York, Vegas. Hey,
Wow.
that's
Can
pretty.
I come and work for you?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, Colette. I hope they don't gamble the profits away there. Sarah, I took them all to see the Vidal Sassoon movie at the cinema. I took them all to the fantastic Hairdresser Inspirational Day, which we talked at and loved that. It was fun and did bond them. Yeah, it bonds them. What we got here, I said, there's always a 20-second delay, so they may be a little bit. Put these comments in ages ago. All our team work their day off, bank holiday week, and get the Easter weekend off, and we close between Christmas and New Year to give them time with their families. But we still take the amount of money in the week, though, to find it. So that's cool. Yeah, I think
Do you know
family.
what?
Gone to Jordanna. Yeah.
I was just going to say that we were talking about this in the salon the other day, and we're really concerned that Christmas parties won't be able to go ahead because, like the 6-person rule.
Oh.
And if that's so, that is like our event of the year in the salon. Like people have bought dresses for it already. Like if that doesn't go ahead, I'll be so gutted because that's a really big talking point. I mean, we still talk about last year's Christmas now. Like,
And you
there's
ain't
so
going
much
to
that
do
happens in
any
it night.
Zoom event as a Christmas party.
And actually, it'll be the only time in kind of like that July will be busier than December in any salon because no one's going out. So will December be that busy anymore?
Right, what we got here, we've got Jez. Hi, Jez. When I had a salon, we used to close 3 times a year for team training. We gained investor in people, highest level due to how we designed our customer and team experience together. We achieved world-class status, let's bring that up again, for our reward and recognition practices. Really cool.
Wow.
Yeah, great stuff there, Jazz. Andrew, you can offer money, time off or fame, but the most important thing is show them successful, positive future. Big time on that one. That's great, yeah. What else we got here? So many good stuff here. Yeah, my wife said, good question. I'm guessing you asked that one where we're all going to go. So I'm a little bit behind on that. So hopefully some of you are going to put some answers in. Have we got some down there? Where are you going to take your team? My best friends. What we got here? Hi, Kelly. My best friends were made working together. I left, but we are still so close. That's really nice, isn't it? When you connect with your team, isn't it? And you keep that closeness. I'm trying to get down to these messages where you're all going to take your team. Right, I think this is the first one coming in. This is Daniel. Ibiza, 100%. Yeah, we're all feeling Ibiza, aren't we? What about Croatia? You know, Croatia is... You know, there's Reykjavik, not where is it in Croatia? Not Reykjavik, that's Iceland, isn't it? Where is it? Croatia, the party capital, the new Ibiza.
Hvar? No.
No, what is it? Come on, help me out on that. It's that's where the proper clubbers now go days.
It's either Ibiza or Tomorrowland for me. That's where I'd be taking them. So.
Colette, she's going Vegas. Yeah. Andrew Dunn, Vegas. Yeah, I don't know if I fancy Vegas. I've got to be honest. I've never been to Vegas. Have you been to Vegas, you two?
No.
I haven't even been to Ibiza. I'm desperate to go. Can someone please take me?
Well,
we're going to go as part of the hair show, aren't we, one day, I think?
We've talked about this. Sorry, I keep going, but look, I am 20 seconds behind. Vegas, Lee... Rotherham, show them there is another side to life. Rotherham, I tell you. Let's go Rotherham, absolutely.
What's Tomorrowland?
Oh, it's just an amazing festival, babes. Like, you would love it.
Saffron, mine be more than happy with Blackpool.
Should we do a hair show thingy too?
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't from home.
There we go. Brooke, thank you, Brooke Dubrovnik. That's the one, Dubrovnik. Yeah, that is a beautiful place, Croatia. Seriously. Paul, where's this one? Is that right? Sunsea Beach? Sunsea Beach? Don't know, where's that one? Have I got that right? Am I saying it right?
Is that the one in Bulgaria?
Yeah, that's...
No. Yeah, we're
all...
There's
a program about that.
Splitting Croatia, yeah. Look, there's... Sorry, I'm still going down this. Obviously my comments are lower down, hence why I'm looking all down here. Vegas, Ibiza. Yeah, I think somewhere hot. Well, look, that brings us on perfectly actually into our last topic. I didn't mean it to go that way, but it sort of worked lovely. Hey, that's years of doing this talking stuff. So our last topic is going to be SAD syndrome. All right, we all know about it. Lack of daylight. It came up because an article that Dan had been talking about. So let's go into our last topic. So what we got here? So the SAD syndrome, have I got this right? Now again, so that's seasonal adjustment disorder, isn't it? Is that right? Have I got that right? Yeah. So this one came about, wasn't it, Jordanna? I think, did Dan pick up an article about this lack of daylight, and it's more about the lack of daylight. We're all basically heading straight into winter. Here we are in Europe. I appreciate some of you are in the southern hemisphere, and you may not have that problem that us dear Brits and Irish and Celts and all us lot have. But tell everybody about this article, Jordanna. Did you read it?
Yeah. So the synopsis is that I think the title was "Winter Lockdown," or are you fearing winter lockdown? If you are, live like a Norwegian. And what they did is they looked at Norway, which obviously is a country that has the least amount of sunlight because they have really, really long dark hours in the day. And they found that their mindset and their ability to adapt to that was actually stronger than ours because their seasonal depression rates are a lot lower. And so when we compare that to the way we think is very, very different. And I think they've just had a lot of time to adapt to it. And I think they still do their outdoor events, and they find ways around the whole winter glum and gloominess by actually getting excited about it. So they have winter festivals, they've got outdoor open cinemas, they dress really well so that they can still meet up outside, and they just prepare themselves mentally for it. They don't do anything different to us except for changing that mindset.
Right.
And I think that is so important.
Now that's all wonderful, right? And it is wonderful. And I think in, certainly Scandinavian countries, that they probably get a lot more daylight in terms of sunshine, maybe less time. But I think the problem sometimes with the UK, George, is we get a lot of grey, wet weather. Is it more that problem? So actually, if we had a winter that was just clear blue sky, that would be easy, wouldn't it? Is it the grey clouds which is the problem for us?
I like winter, me. I really find it quite cosy. So I'm opposite. So I believe that sad syndrome's out there, but I enjoy winter.
Yeah.
You actually? I would say that it does really demotivate me waking up when it's dark. Like, that really annoys me. Yeah. Because you just feel like you shouldn't be up when you're in the shower and you're like, ugh.
Yeah, but I love laying in a bath at night and it's like raining and it's like rate cold and you rate warm in a bath. And I did say earlier as well that you guys started laughing at me in the green room. If you get your son on sunbed, it does make you feel a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, that there is scientific proof that lack of sunlight does lead to sad syndrome. So that's why they've brought out these things called like happy lamps, where they sit on your bedside table and they produce the closest thing you can to natural sunlight. They come on in the morning, and that's to give you that boost of UV light that then leads to endorphins and a bit of a happier day. I can totally see how it leads to sad. But I mean, what I loved about the article, that Dan, if you're there, can you post it as well? That if you read it's about mindset. And when I told my housemate this, he was comparing it to football teams, and he's saying, like, when you support a team that doesn't do well a lot, it's actually, you're a happier fan because your expectations are a bit lower, but also when they do have their wins, you're like, yes. Whereas when you support a team who's actually winning all the time, you end up like not having that same euphoria or endorphin release because they're always winning, and then you get really, really down when they're losing. I mean, that is a little bit of a 2D metaphor.
Jordanna, I get that completely. I totally get that one, I have to say. But I think it does make a lot of sense. And I think trying to draw this into sort of industry related, why does this actually matter? Well, look, the first thing that I'm going to ask you all, are you going into winter with dread? Do you dread winter? Yes. Do you dread winter? No. You're quite happy, you're positive, and you're going into it. I think certainly, and I think where my link would come with this is that actually as an industry, and we are so pivotal in how well we can make people feel. And, again, we were talking about this in the green room before coming on air, and we were saying, George, we were saying, actually, us as an industry are incredibly important to how people are going to feel going into this winter. And, that experience of coming to a salon may be the one little bit of brightness going on in their life with, dare I say that word, COVID-19 and winter. I mean, what's your take on that?
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I think that, like I said, obviously we were talking about maybe the hairdressing industry being affected with not perhaps the sort of threat of not as much going on at Christmas. But actually what it has made people feel is that they do want to feel better about themselves. So in actual fact, people have still got to go to the supermarket, they're still got to do the school run, there's still going to be the odd Christmas meal, there's still going to be the odd meal or trip to the pub. People still need their hair done. So I think that is a saving grace. I think possibly what's making people feel worse with the winter coming is there's still a massive level of uncertainty in terms of what's going to happen and where we can go and what we can do with all the rules changing over time,
Oh, that's interesting. You sort of, people still going out. I mean, you're in London, Kensington, Jordanna, your salon, I would imagine, quite high-end, nice restaurants. Are you noticing a difference with that change to a client's behaviour where, women still having their hair done for a evening out, or is that something that's just a bit yesterday and people don't do that anymore?
The blow dry business has completely depleted, definitely, because
Okay.
we used to get weekly blow dries. They're definitely no longer to be seen because people wouldn't pay for that just to be on a Zoom call. However, I'm going to do what I came up with this idea called blow out to help out. And I know it sounds a bit dirty, but I don't mean it in that sense. So, you know how you've got eat out to help out, blow out to help out. I was going to offer to my clients £30 blow dry, which is half price, because our blow dries are quite expensive. Don't ask me why, it's just always been that way, because it takes us the same amount of time, like 45 minutes. Anyway, so blow out to help out, £30 blow dries if you buy a bulk of 6 and you have to use them within 6-week period. So basically once a week. And that's just hopefully going to get them back into the routine and kind of hook them on having their hair blow dried again. Again, it's just about the experience and making sure that the finer details in the salon are kind of really polished, because they will come back, but we just have to make them do it sooner.
What about you with blow dries? You're more colour, aren't you, George? You don't really.
Yeah, we've never been a styling bar. I mean, we have got Luke, my lad. He's absolutely amazing at updos. He's amazing at blow dries, but we've never marketed ourselves on that. So actually, you know, our Christmas is no different to our March or April or May, to be honest, because we're just colour focused.
And what about colour then? Is colour something that we go into winter, right? And it's the same every year. I can tell you how it's going to be. Yeah, there'll be some form of darker, deeper, chestnut, auburn, of some kind of red that every winter comes about. But actually, we tend to think, oh, they want these deeper flamer colours. It doesn't work like that. But does colours, is that something that can give you a lift, isn't it? Particularly, you know, when things are getting damper, darker, and, you know, that's got to be a lift.
100%, but I'll be honest, Tom, I don't find any difference from my December to my January, because it's just the way that I market my clients and the way that I am, and I would much rather, as a business, as a salon, have a constant flow, consistent throughout the year, than I would think, oh my God, I've had a terrible summer, I'm really looking forward to Christmas, because I just don't think that's the way the business can work. I would rather be consistently booked every 6 to 12 weeks, and then I don't have to worry about anything.
Is Christmas still a big? Because that was also the other thing years ago. I guess this is my years of being in hairdressing, that we'd have, yeah, really busy Christmas, and then, you know, January, February just died to death. But is it more about just repeat customers now? People just come in for their colours 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, Jordanna?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, definitely frequency of visits is going to be at an all-time low. So what we can do is put a positive spin on it. I was speaking to this amazing guy called Ricky Waters, who's the owner of Salon 64, and he was like, yes, then the next thing is to come is the second lockdown, and that is fearful, but can we see a business opportunity here? Can we turn that into a marketing stunt and say, guys, we're about to go into a second lockdown, get your appointments in now, because we don't know what's around the corner, we're getting really busy, make them feel like they might not even get an appointment, and hook them and engage them in that way.
Yeah, love that.
And I thought that was brilliant, because you have to follow Ricky Waters,
proper smart, isn't he? I mean,
he's
love his
29
salon.
and he is just mind-blowingly amazing at business, at seeing opportunities, and just turning everything to a positive.
Again, I interviewed Ricky for a podcast. We talked about his salon, and he'd do his makeup even. They've got the bar in there in Soho, isn't it? And actually, Ricky would be great to get to come on to the show, which we're going to be talking about. I think this is the whole thing, what we wanted to talk about this winter, and I think everything about it is really, it's about the mindset, George, isn't it? And, you know, I think everything with the doom and gloom that we all hear every day, and now the winter, but actually, isn't it time that we all just got excited and we start planning and get, as what Jordanna says, let's get our mindset really right now, whether you're a salon owner, hairdresser, freelancer, let's get our mindset right.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, there's always, you know, you can either look at things with doom and gloom, or you can always seek, I think that's the entrepreneurial in people, you can always seek opportunity out of uncertainty.
Are we missing our events as well?
Sorry?
Missing our events in the winter.
Missing,
you know, Salon International, I've got to say.
Yeah.
I'm devastated to Salon International got cancelled, because that is the one event, you know, certainly not, you know, for me, there's that October feeling, and it makes me think of Salon International. Do you know what I mean? There's a certain air in
Yeah,
the air, and
people-
it feels like Salon International, and I've gone to that every year since 1984, and to not have it here is such a blow, isn't it? Because
It is.
events are great, and like I say, we're seeing that. I know they're doing their online event as well, and they're great, and it's great getting this education. But events is about actually just bringing people together, isn't it?
It's
More
great to
than
be
anything
part of
else.
the industry and to actually, go and speak to people that you've spoken to on social media all year and to get to know people. And it's just a great, I think we have the best events. I'm very sad.
I know it sounds ridiculous, but like it's so weird also seeing people but without having to touch them. Like you can't. I mean, just saying hello to someone, giving them a hug or a kiss on the cheek. But this elbow business is not cutting it for me because I'm quite an affectionate person. Like, it felt so weird being at Salon Smart yesterday and not being able to hug people that I've been hugging for years.
But can I tell you, I do manage my local under-16s football team, and they have no idea of this elbow. They're still high-fiving. I'm standing there absolutely freaking out, honestly. They've just not got it at all, this whole elbow, which is not great. But anyway, that's another conversation. But look, let me just go back some of the comments. I'm way behind. So we asked a question about, going into winter. What we got there? Faye has said it's mindset. Yep. Saffron, Dark Nights means Christmas is on its way. Yes, I so get that, Saffron. We all love a bit of Christmas, don't we? And I think it makes winter. Again, it's all those things which are really nice. Nicola, so no was meaning, no, it doesn't bother me going into winter. That's good. Kelly, she says, yes, it does bother her. Shelley, no, happy getting cozy. Yeah, a little bit of getting cozy. Sam, yes, hate it. Charlotte, take vitamin D. Yeah, I reckon so. Matters because clients feel us as we feel them. Yeah.
I have been taking. Do you know those? What are they called? They're not cannabis, but they are. You know those pills. You know those pills that you get. Oh, it's the.
There are
hemp oil.
it is the cannabis. There are the. Is that the one you're talking about? Is it like a
Called hemp oil? Yeah,
It
I've been
is, yeah.
taking them from Holland and Barrett just once a day because they apparently are quite good for like skin, digestion, everything like that. And
I'm just looking at George's face to this one because.
Sorry, my staff members just messaged me and asked me when we're going to a beefer. That's the most engagement I've ever got, I think.
Sorry, I've got way down. I hope you're all enjoying this show. It is, honestly, I know we're talking, so don't mind the winter, but sun gives you more energy. So does. I know, again, I'm really behind on these. Love winter, but also love summer. I do think that there's hot weather and sunshine. Everyone's mood seems a lot happier. I do agree with that, Ryan. But it's no surprise. We know it's coming every year, isn't it? It's like this great announcement from client. People just say, God, the nights are getting in. Like it's this new, unbelievable moment that's just happened in the world. What the nights are drawing in. But there is something nice. Yes, always dread winter. October is my worst month as winter is ahead. No, I don't mind. I quite like the change of seasons, Emma, 100%. This is obviously going back to the Christmas one with Nicola. I'm fully booked already for Christmas. Everyone still wants to feel good, even though there will be hardly any parties. Are you all fully booked for Christmas?
No.
Absolutely not.
No. Yeah, I hear this a lot from people. There's a lot of people that say they're fully booked for Christmas. I've got to be honest, the bookings are getting quite a bit busier for booking. Colette, people will make the most of this Christmas for sure. Lipstick effect. Yeah, I'll go with that. I think that's a really good call. Andrew, what's Andrew got here? Let's just have a look. High expectation about and from outside. World regarding making us happy instead of gratitude of being alive on the inside plays a part, I feel. Yeah. Oh, God, there's so many here. Let me do... I'm sorry if I'm not covering all your comments here. Anything you've seen there, girls, that you want me to flag up here? No? What are you chuckling at?
Everyone's laughing at me because I'm like, are you sure you didn't mean a spliff? And everyone's like correcting me, CBD. Sorry guys, it's been a long day and I'm a bit tired.
Oh God, look, I'm really CBD, yeah, that's what they're talking about, yeah, and the hemp oil, right? Okay. Loving the show. Well, that's great. Are you all loving the show, everybody? Because, yeah, it only feels like a few days since we done the one last week because we brought it to you on Wednesday. So, yeah, let us know. Are you loving the show? These conversations, and we keep reaching out to you all, and we're saying to you, come on, get in touch with us and tell us what you want. Emma done it. Emma got in touch with me. She DM'd me and she said, look, I want you to talk more to just hairdressers. Don't be so salon owner focused. Yeah, so get in the comments. I think we really enjoy it, don't we, Jordanna, George? I think this chat and this engagement is what is the special part to the show, Jordanna.
Yeah, definitely. And I would love to cover topics that you guys suggest for us as well, because it's quite an organic process. We don't tend to talk about it beforehand, so it's really good to see your views on it. But anything you want us to talk about, just fire away, slide in the DMs.
Slide in the DMs. And George, you feel the same, don't you? I know you look forward to Monday nights or last week Wednesday.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's brilliant, and I really, appreciate everyone's engagement. Everyone's engagement is really important. It effectively is everyone else's show, isn't it? So it's whatever you suggest is really important.
And I mentioned it at the start, and we're going to be sort of flagging off in a second and just coming. But I just want to say to you all that basically what we're using here in doing these lives, there's some new features which is going to allow. So basically, me, Jordanna, and George are all coming in via Skype, which can be, certainly in the early days, before Jordanna got a dongle and I got my broadband, so it would drop off. But it means that having this Skype connection, we can't bring in other guests. We can, but it weakens things off. The short answer is now we are going to have something new coming into the show, which is going to allow us to bring guests into the show, which is mega exciting. There's many of you who are in the comments who have become real regulars of the show, and you feel like friends to us all, to be totally honest. I've not met half of you. Some of you I know quite well, but a lot of you I don't. We would love to bring you guys into the show, and we are going to be reaching out. So rather than having videos of you guys, which we're still open to the videos, we're going to have you coming in live, joining us live in here. And also, is there any of you that are going to be brave enough to come and do some makeovers? All right, I'm liking this idea of a makeover, George, yeah, where a bit like a TV show. So, present your model at the start, you go off into the green room, go and do the hair, and bring them back at the end of the show. How's that sound, George?
Yeah, it sounds good. Everyone loves a cheeky little makeover, don't they? So yeah, I think it's a brilliant idea, Dom.
All right, and that's what we're going to do. So please, please, please get in touch. Don't be shy. We'll look after you, won't we, girls? We'll make sure they're all comfortable.
We'll try.
Absolutely. So we will try. So get in touch with myself, or Dan again is going to put in the links that you need. So Dan, the email and everything else will go in there. So just a reminder as well for the show, facebook.com/howtocutit. That's where the show goes out live and then we share it out. Jordanna, you're still laughing. Is it still comments coming in about your oil and cannabis?
No, I know, it's just Dan. Yeah.
Cool. Right, so let's say goodbye then. This is time to say goodbye from you all. So first up, we'll say goodbye to you, George.
Goodbye. See you next Monday.
Bye. There she goes. And Jordanna, goodbye.
Bye. See you next Monday, guys.
See you later. And you go and have a little chuckle in the green room. See you later, ladies. So there we go. We're just going to make sure there are. So, yeah, great stuff. Really good show again. Thank you all for coming in to the show. Yeah, Dan's just put the comments in. Where we gonna have a look. What's Kay just put here? So I'm just gonna put these last comments in. Totally off topic, but a remedial massage is amazing to get rid of hairdressers burn. Great stuff. Good stuff. I guess we've got high fives coming in, maybe coming into the show. Belinda, Emma, I think we would like you to come. Well, come and do why don't you be one of our first makeover colours, Emma? How about that? That would be great. Mohammed, great to have you. This is the show. It's the best thing that's happened. Thank you so much. Honestly, We love it. The girls are just great. There's such good chemistry between us all as well. Amazing. Jez, he loves that idea. I think Jez would love to come in, and Colette as well. I think you'll have big topics there. So Dan, again, has put in the YouTube channel. Go and click that. Andrew Dunn, you're going to come in. Got to go, guys. Fantastic. Well done, mate. And great. Always go and check out Andrew's Sunday show on the Weller page, by the way. Jordanna, go to Vegas is legal. Yep. Love you all. Yeah, we love you all. Leah Shaw, thank you guys. Great there. Susan, nice to see you. How are you doing, Susan? Daniel Craig, thank you guys. Thank you. By Pivot Point, thank you guys. Stay safe. Just getting these goodbyes in. Many thanks. Yeah, Nicola, great to see you here. Thank you, Christopher. Sarah, love the show. Heather, brilliant show. Got our podcast coming soon. Looking forward to that, Heather. Bye, Charlotte. Bye, Leah. How you doing, Lee? So good to see you there. Great show again. Thank you. Great. Paul, bye. Great to see you, Paul. Catch up with you shortly soon. Thank you, Kelly. And well done, guys. Yeah, off to watch Liverpool. Who they got tonight? I'm not sure. I won't mind seeing that. So great stuff. There we go. Really enjoyed it. My latest podcast just come out tonight, by the way. It's all about podcasting. An incredible Australian girl. Her name is Christina Russell, and she's talking how podcasting is helping grow her business. So she's come in part of the podcasting family. Great topic. So it's been great. I've enjoyed every part of this again. We'll be back next Monday. And the finest way to make sure you don't miss this show is facebook.com/howtocutIt, our Facebook page. That's where we put the notifications. And also come and be part of the How to Cut It hairdressing community. We would love to see you there. So until next week, everybody, peace, love and smiles all the way. Goodbye.